when you were talking about the jigsaw puzzle, and it all fits together and it's whole, there aren't missing pieces, it's kind of like one group feels something lacking in the other group and comes up with something that completes it. And pretty soon you have a complete thing, because we all have our talents and we all have something to give and our ideas, and they're not all the same. That's why we all need each other, because we're each a certain piece and we do fit together. Because if there's one group and obviously it'll be lacking something, you know, because it's just, it's got these main points. And then another group, in seeing that, comes up with their main points and it completes it. So we really do all fit together, and it really is complete when we're all contributing what we have to contribute. Is that?
Yes. You want to?
I'm thinking, you alluded to the Buddhist-Christian kind of complementing each other. A number of years ago, I was doing a workshop in California someplace, and it was at the ocean, and it was a weekend, and they put me up in this Buddhist home at night. And they said, now, you'll have the whole house to yourself, but tomorrow morning a group may come in around 5 and start chanting. I said, well, great, there are Buddhist statues all around, very beautiful. And I slept and had this amazing dream that night about Jesus and Buddha. And I woke up, and then the group did come in at 5 in the morning. It was so wonderful waking up to Buddhist chanting going on in the living room. But this is what I learned. You know, a Buddha lived a full life, died, I think, I forget, 83 or something like that. So he'd seen all of life. He'd been a husband and a father and all this, and done all he did, and experienced a lot of serenity, and he went through the stages of life. Jesus got himself killed at about 30 years of age. You know,
After 3 years of work.
Exactly. Right, exactly.
And
So I mean, these are two different, you know, religions, you might say. And what I realized is we need the serenity of the Buddha, and we need the holy impatience of Jesus. We need holy patience and holy impatience. And it's a tragedy that East has been apart from West, or if you will, it's been one-sided. And so now that we are coming together, we can respect this. And maybe that kind of mirrors what you were just saying. And you know, Gandhi says that he learned to say no from the West, in other words, from Jesus. That in his Hindu tradition, he was being told, remember, about the untouchables, don't worry about them, next incarnation they'll do better.
Right.
And he got angry. He said, no, we have to decide, this is unjust now. And he got that anger, permission for his anger, from Jesus. So he says, I learned to say no from the West, because the East can be more complacent, because, oh, next time around, with a cyclical view of history, you know. So I think we need, you know, that's part of what I hear you saying, that there's this, one fills in the other. And of course, when you look closely at Jesus, he spent, well, he was on the lam most of his adult life. He was also seeking stillness out in the desert and so forth. So he sought serenity. He just didn't get a lot of it in his 3 years. And especially his last 20 hours, which, by the way, as long as I'm on the subject of Jesus, I am by intention a Christian. But I do want to say this, that his story's been so distorted. He had one bad day, and they build a religion on the cross. And that's not his story. It's not his story. He spent at least 3 years teaching compassion and creating an art form of parables, which gets you to think for yourself. Right. And he did all this other stuff, and then the church puts him on this cross, which is the empire's vehicle. And, you know, it's been so distorted, then it's co-opted totally by the empire in the 4th century, that it's really exciting, actually, that now we're living in a time when scholars are clearing away the rubble and coming back to who this man really was, and which of the words in the gospel are really his words. And we can rediscover that the true Christianity flies like a bird with 2 wings. The wing of the historical Jesus, who was prophetic and from the wisdom tradition of Israel, which is a nature-based religion, and the wing of the cosmic Christ, which is the mystical, it's like the Buddha nature. It's the presence of the Christ in all beings. So, you know, there's a tremendous need to simplify it. Just like in Jesus, and it was distilling Judaism, we have to distill and redo Christianity today. Jesus deserves that.
Yes.
And so do the young people today. They don't need all the crap that's been piled up in the name of church for 2,000 years.
Yeah. What do
None
you
of us do.
see
We have to
in-
travel much lighter spiritually. That's the difference between spirituality and religion,
Yeah.
being troubadours.
In the future, you keep mentioning now we're doing this, now we're doing, there's all this 2012 and the New Jerusalem and today is supposed to be the beginning of the age of Aquarius and can you give me a vision? Every major culture has some big transition happening right now. Can you kind of give me an idea of what it's going to look like in 20 years or so?
No. I can do 100 years out, but 20 years is too weird for me.
I think it's when we're going through a time of great deconstruction.
Yes.
The Roman Catholic Church is melting before our eyes. There's a great saint of Catholicism, died a few years ago, Father B. Griffith, was a Benedictine monk, Englishman, who spent 50 years in India running an ashram for Hindus and Christians, a very holy man. He said to me shortly before he died, he said, don't even worry about the Vatican, do exactly what you're doing, don't think about it. He said, it's all going to come tumbling down one night, just like the Berlin Wall.
Wow.
And that's what's happening. I mean, this man in there now is